speaking at a university recently, and a lot of the law students there were asking me, so if I don't code, how can I get involved with this DeFi economy? And being a law student yourself, like what's your typical answer to that kind of questions?
I used to answer that question in a way that practically, there's much of things you could do in terms of, I mean, like smart contracts doesn't live in a vacuum. There's compliance. There's also interesting legal compliance topics to be solved. And I definitely agree. I mean, there's already a law in place in the society. And what's interesting is that to see like how smart contracts play in this ecosystem. And what's funny is that if you think about smart contracts, how they operate is that it's actually and regulation itself. Regulation is to protect something in most cases, or regulate something, maybe economics, various reasons. And what's interesting here is that, let's say, law regulation in finance is there might be investor protection against financial service providers, which is basically banks or asset managers and so forth, that they have due diligence. It might be consumer protection, kind of on the same reasons. And what's in smart contracts is different is that that regulation is built into the smart contract. So you can put those protection mechanisms into the contracts. And the difference with smart contracts and traditional, let's say, uh, law and legislation is that there's self enforcement. So you don't need to go to court because the contract executes just as exactly how it's being built, and those protections added. And also, what's cool about smart contracts is that it makes things very efficient. And when you don't have to go to court, it actually means that you can build the law into into the contracts, and the contract can't be executing in a way that it hasn't been built, unless there's some sort of vulnerabilities. But that's a quality discussion. So practically, I would say, like, for law students, lawyers, there's definitely the kind of old school perspective where you are looking how they fit. But I would say the more interesting part is to look at the smart contracts from different perspective, from the decentralized perspective, and kind of like that the contracts are like contract and regulation, and how would you regulate with smart contracts, so in certain type of financial transactions. And part of this, I would say, like, even if you don't have programmer background, it pays off to study a bit and learn. I mean, especially like when you look at smart contracts and blockchain, Ethereum, there's sort of technicalities, but they are not that difficult, honestly, because the more you understand, the more easier it becomes to handle and understand the technology and the different kinds of uh, aspects. So I would say, like, there's of course like the old way to think about how they fit contracts fit into the traditional society, but also the programmatic part and technical part is very interesting. So in basics, just knowing the basic will get you very far.